Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, you are never enough? You give your all to distinguish yourself, seeking external approval and validation, but you constantly fall short of others' expectations and standards. The disappointment feels endless. The sense of betrayal, of not being considered, weighs heavily on your heart. Welcome to Kai's Calm Kit. In today's video, we will explore the weight of expectations, how placing them on others often leads to disappointment, and how shifting this burden can transform your life. You know, the topic of expectations is incredibly personal to me. Throughout my life, I faced numerous heartbreaks, ghostings, manipulations, and betrayals. Friends who vanished without a trace, relationships that crumbled under the weight of unspoken promises, family members who didn't see my worth, and co-workers or employers who undervalued my contributions. Each instance left me feeling more inadequate, more rejected, and more desperate for approval. The turning point came after a particularly painful betrayal. I had placed someone on a pedestal, believing in their greatness, treating them with the utmost respect, and expecting the same in return. But when they let me down, the disappointment was crushing. It wasn't just the loss of that relationship that hurt. It was the shattering of the illusion I had created around them. This pattern repeated itself with friends, family, and even in my professional life. I constantly found myself putting others' needs and opinions above my own, hoping that by being the best version of myself, they would see my value and reciprocate. But time and time again, I was met with disappointment. The more I tried to be perfect for others, the more my self-esteem diminished. My desire to be seen, loved, appreciated, and valued grew, but my expectations were rarely met. One heartbreak after another forced me to look inward, searching for an explanation for my suffering and the repetition of these painful patterns. Was the world truly so cold and indifferent? Or was there something within me that needed to change? Long story short, I came to a profound realization. The source of my suffering wasn't the actions of others, but my own expectations. I had been given away my power, allowing others to dictate my worth and happiness. It was a heavy burden, one that I had to learn to shift. I understood that I could no longer afford to expect anything from the outside. Instead, I had to turn those expectations inward, focusing on myself. I began the journey of self-reflection, identifying my values, my standards, and my limits. I learned to meet others where they are, without putting them on a pedestal. I stopped seeking validation and started seeking alignment, looking for genuine connections rather than trying to impress or be validated by others. This shift in perspective was liberating. It taught me that every improvement and growth comes from within, and only then is it reflected outside. By letting go of unrealistic expectations of others, I found a sense of peace and self-worth that wasn't dependent on external validation. Expectations are beliefs or assumptions about how people should behave or how situations should unfold. They are mental pictures of future events that we create, often without even realizing it. Expectation can be as simple as expecting a friend to return a call, or as complex as expecting a relationship to fulfill all our emotional needs. But why do we have expectations? At their core, expectations arise from our personal desires, societal norms, and past experiences. Our personal desires shape what we hope to achieve and how we wish to be treated. We expect others to behave in ways that align with our own values and needs. For example, if honesty is crucial to us, we might expect others to be truthful in their dealings with us. Societal norms also play a significant role in forming our expectations. Society sets standards for behavior, success, and relationships, and we internalize these standards often without questioning them. We might expect a certain level of respect or professionalism in the workplace because society values these traits. Finally, our past experiences heavily influence our expectations. If we have been hurt or betrayed in the past, we might develop expectations to protect ourselves from future pain. Conversely, positive experiences can lead us to expect similar outcomes in the future. These experiences shape our understanding of what is likely to happen and how we should respond. In essence, expectations are a complex interplay of our inner desires, societal influences, and the lessons we've learned from our past. They can guide us towards our goals, but when misplaced or unrealistic, they can also lead to significant disappointment and frustration. Expectations can have both positive and negative impacts on our lives. On the positive side, expectations can be powerful motivators. They help us set goals and envision the future we desire. For instance, expecting to succeed in a new job can drive us to work harder and develop our skills. These positive expectations can boost our confidence and encourage us to strive for professional and personal growth. They give us a sense of direction and purpose, helping us navigate through life with intention and clarity. However, expectations can also have a darker side. When our expectations are not met, it often leads to disappointment and frustration. This is particularly true when our expectations are unrealistic or when we place them on others without clear communication. For example, expecting a friend to always be available for us can lead to resentment if they are unable to meet that expectation. The constant cycle of unmet expectations can significantly diminish our self-esteem. We might start to feel inadequate, believing that we are not worthy of having our needs met. This can create a negative feedback loop, where our lowered self-esteem leads us to place even more unrealistic expectations on ourselves and others, further perpetuating the cycle of disappointment. Additionally, unmet expectations can strain our relationships. When we expect others to act or respond in certain ways and they don't, it can lead to misunderstandings and conflicts. This is often because our expectations are based on our own values and experiences, which may not align with those of others. In summary, while expectations can inspire and drive us, they can also lead to significant emotional pain when not managed properly. Understanding the dual nature of expectations is crucial in learning how to navigate them effectively and reduce their negative impacts on our lives. The turning point in my journey came after a particularly painful betrayal. It was in that moment of deep hurt that I realized the source of my suffering wasn't just the actions of others, but the heavy weight of my own expectations. I had been placing unrealistic demands on people, hoping they would fulfill roles and meet standards that I had set in my mind. This realization marked the beginning of a profound shift in my perspective. I understood that I couldn't control external circumstances or the behavior of others. What I could control, however, was my own response and the expectations I set for myself. This shift in focus from external to internal was liberating. Instead of expecting my partner to be the sole source of my happiness, I learned to find happiness within myself. I started respecting my own values, my time, my passions, and my goals. I realized that true happiness and meaning come from within and are not dependent on anyone else. This internal shift is crucial because it places the responsibility for our happiness and well-being back where it belongs, with us. We become the guardians of our own joy and the protectors of our own boundaries. This doesn't mean we become closed off or clinical. Rather, it means we approach relationships and life with a clear sense of self and an understanding that our worth is not defined by others. For example, instead of expecting your partner to always be faithful, loving, and the source of your happiness and meaning, you become faithful to yourself. You uphold your own values and respect your time and passions. You pursue your goals and find purpose in your life unconditionally. This self-responsibility is empowering because it ensures that your happiness is not at the mercy of others. Clear communication becomes vital. It's important to express your needs and boundaries openly, accepting that the other person might meet them or not. This acceptance is key because it frees you from the chains of unmet expectations. You no longer settle for less than what you know you deserve. You become unapologetic about your standards, understanding that they are a reflection of your self-worth. In essence, this realization and shift in perspective are about owning our part of the responsibility. We cannot control what others do, but we can control how we respond. By expecting more from ourselves and less from others, we create a solid foundation for genuine happiness and meaningful connections. This transformation is not about becoming indifferent or detached, but about fostering a deeper connection with ourselves and approaching life with a sense of empowerment and clarity. Here are 4 strategies for managing expectations. Number 1, mindfulness. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for managing expectations because it keeps us anchored in the present moment. When we practice it, we become more aware of our thoughts and emotions without judgment. This awareness helps us recognize when we are forming unrealistic expectations and allow us to adjust them before they lead to disappointment. Mindful breathing can be a great starting point to incorporate mindfulness into your daily life. Take a few moments each day to focus on your breath. Inhale deeply, hold for a few seconds, and exhale slowly. This practice calms the mind and brings your attention back to the present. Another technique is the body scan. Sit quietly and mentally scan your body from head to toe, noticing any areas of tension. This helps you become more aware of physical sensations and promotes relaxation. You can also practice mindful observation by choosing an object in your environment and observing it carefully. Notice its color, texture, and shape. This exercise enhances your attention to detail and keeps you grounded. Lastly, during conversations, focus entirely on the speaker. Listen without planning your response and notice the words, tone, and emotions being conveyed. This improves your ability to understand and connect with others. Number 2, setting realistic goals. Setting realistic and flexible goals is essential for managing expectations. Unrealistic goals can set us up for failure and disappointment, whereas attainable goals provide a sense of accomplishment and motivation. When setting goals, try to be specific and clear about what you want to achieve. For example, instead of saying, "I want to get fit," specify, "I will work out for 30 minutes 3 times a week for the next month." Breaking larger goals into smaller, manageable tasks can make them less overwhelming and easier to track progress. Flexibility is also important. Be open to adjusting your goals as needed. Life is unpredictable, and being adaptable helps you stay on track without feeling defeated. And don't forget to celebrate your milestones. Acknowledge and celebrate your progress, no matter how small. This boosts your motivation and reinforces positive behavior. Number 3, open communication. Open and clear communication is vital in relationships to manage expectations effectively. When we communicate our needs and boundaries, we reduce misunderstandings and build stronger connections. To communicate your expectations effectively, be direct and clear. Clearly state your needs without assuming the other person knows them. For instance, instead of saying "you never respect my feelings and always judge me," say, "I would appreciate it if you could listen to me and support me when I am expressing frustration and fear. I need a listener that doesn't judge me in those moments." Use "I" statements to frame your communication in a way that focuses on your feelings and needs rather than blaming the other person. For example, "I feel wrong and inadequate when you tell me what I should do. Can we change our viewpoints instead, where you tell me what you would do if you were in my shoes?" Listening actively is also crucial. Pay attention to the other person's response and show that you understand their perspective by repeating back what you've heard to ensure clarity. Finally, set boundaries clearly. Define what is acceptable and what is not, such as saying, "I need time for myself in the evenings to relax. Please understand that I may not be available for calls during that time." Number 4, embracing imperfection. Embracing life's unpredictability and imperfections is crucial for managing expectations. Rigid expectations often lead to disappointment, while acceptance allows for more fulfilling experiences. Letting go of control and accepting that not everything will go according to plan can help you embrace the unpredictability of life and find joy in the unexpected moments. Practice self-compassion by being kind to yourself when things do not go as expected. Recognize that making mistakes is part of being human and an opportunity for growth. Shift your focus from the end results to the process. Enjoy the learning and experiences along the way, regardless of the outcome. Adopting a growth mindset can also help. View challenges and setbacks as opportunities to learn and improve. This mindset helps you stay resilient and open to new possibilities. By practicing mindfulness, setting realistic goals, communicating openly, and embracing imperfection, you can manage your expectations more effectively and lead a more fulfilling life. Taking responsibilities for our own happiness and well-being is a fundamental aspect of managing expectations. When we place the burden of our happiness on others, we give away our power and set ourselves up for disappointment. True fulfillment comes from within, from understanding and meeting our own needs. Our self-esteem and self-worth play crucial roles in this process. When we have a strong sense of self-worth, we are less likely to rely on others for validation. We recognize our intrinsic value and understand that our happiness is our own responsibility. This shift in perspective empowers us to set healthy boundaries and prioritize our well-being without feeling guilty or selfish. For instance, instead of expecting a partner to make us feel loved and valued, we cultivate self-love and respect. We engage in activities that bring us joy and fulfillment, pursue our passions, and take care of our physical and mental health. By doing so, we create a solid foundation of self-worth that is not dependent on external validation. This internal stability allows us to approach relationships with a sense of completeness, rather than seeking someone to fill our voids. Inner alignment refers to the harmony between our inner values, beliefs, and actions. When we are aligned internally, our external relationships and experiences naturally reflect the harmony. Inner alignment helps us live authentically, making decisions that resonate with our true selves rather than conforming to external pressures or expectations. To achieve inner alignment, it's essential to understand our values, standards, and limits. Here are some exercises and practices to help you in this journey. Spend time reflecting on what truly matters to you. What are your core values? What principles guide your decisions? Write them down and consider how they align with your current life and actions. Keep a journal to explore your thoughts and feelings. Write about your experiences, what you enjoyed, what frustrated you, and why. This practice helps you gain insights into your inner world and identify patterns that may be misaligned with your true self. Make a list of your top 5 values. For each value, write a brief explanation of why it is important to you and how it influences your life. This exercise helps you articulate your values clearly and understand their impact on your decisions and relationships. Identify areas in your life where you feel overwhelmed or taken for granted. Reflect on what boundaries you need to set to protect your well-being. Practice asserting these boundaries kindly but firmly, ensuring they align with your values and respect your limits. Before making decisions, pause and reflect on whether the choice aligns with your values and long-term goals. Consider how it will impact your well-being and whether it feels right to you beyond societal or external expectations. By practicing these exercises, you can cultivate a deeper understanding of your values, standards, and limits, leading to greater inner alignment. When we live in alignment with our true selves, we attract relationships and experiences that resonate with our authenticity, fostering a sense of harmony and fulfillment in our lives. As we bring this video to a close, I want to leave you with a piece of wisdom that has profoundly shaped my journey. Expectations, in my own experience, often stem from a deep-seated fear of being alone, rejected, or not enough. We seek validation and approval because it feels wonderful to be surrounded by people who love and appreciate us. And who doesn't love being useful, helpful, and appreciated? But here is the reality. We can't be everyone's cup of tea, and not everyone will be ours. This isn't a bad thing. In fact, it's liberating. When we cling to the need for universal acceptance, we deprive ourselves and others of the chance to truly shine and express our authentic selves. Think about someone you love deeply, your child, your parents, or a dear friend, you love them unconditionally, not because they meet certain standards, but because you see their true essence. Now imagine if you applied that same unconditional love and acceptance to yourself. Often, we bend over backwards to meet what we think are others' expectations of us, creating a cycle of expectations that only leads to more disappointment. When will you allow yourself to be that person you love and respect unconditionally? What are you waiting for to start expecting the best for yourself? Remember, managing expectations starts from within. By turning our focus inward, we empower ourselves to create a life filled with genuine happiness and fulfillment. Thank you for joining me on this journey of reflection and self-discovery. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to Kay's Calm Kit. Your support helps me reach more people and continue sharing valuable insights. Much love.